Good afternoon and welcome to the Crypto Market News Desk. I'm your host, Dickie Armour, and I've got breaking news. News coming out overnight, Binance, one of the most popular cryptocurrency exchanges, has had an outage. It's been down for about the last 10 hours. It hasn't come back online. The website seems to be up and running, but people can't log in. There's been absolute outrage on Twitter. Now, apparently, it was an unplanned piece of work that they were undertaking. They didn't bother telling any of their customers. Now, whether it was planned or unplanned is not clear at this stage. It's very hard to get any information coming out of Binance. But don't know what's going on. As I say, you can go and follow the story on Twitter. Go and check out the Binance Twitter account and watch this space. I have an account with Binance. I've tried to log in multiple times today and I've not been able to log into my Binance account. I think things started happening at about 2 a.m. this morning UK time, and as I say, there's been outrage on Twitter. I will bring you more on this story as soon as we know more, most likely on tomorrow's show. So if you've got a Binance account, get in touch with them, see what's going on. We don't know what's going on, whether it's a planned or an unplanned outage. The website still looks to be online, but people cannot access their accounts. And obviously in these volatile markets, a lot of the customers are not at all happy. And on today's show, I'm going to talk about Mike Novogratz and how he's raised $250 million for his crypto merchant bank. I'm going to talk about Coindesk and their brilliant fourth quarter 2017 report on blockchain and Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about Forbes. Forbes have issued published a brand new kind of rich list. No, I'm not on it. I'm going to talk about crypto regulation from a European Central Bank viewpoint. I'm going to talk about the crypto experts who are predicting a February and onwards bull run. And I've got a dog that can juggle story, and you're going to like it today. It's about Jamie Dimon. All of that on today's show. So Mike Novogratz, the ex-hedge fund manager and Wall Street supremo, has for a long time been talking about all the plans he's got in the cryptocurrency space. I brought news on this show a few weeks ago that he was going to be setting up a merchant bank focused on cryptocurrencies. He has successfully raised in a private fundraising effort $250 million for his new merchant bank called Galaxy Digital. Now, it was a private placement, and so the investors haven't been made public. We've heard that Jerry Gu, a billionaire CEO of Chinese electronics manufacturing giant Foxconn, is one of the investors. And Mike Novogratz and his team are going to be using that money to buy a company in Canada, which they're then going to merge with a Canadian pharmaceutical company that is already listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange. And then they're going to change the name of that company to Galaxy Digital, thereby giving Mike Novogratz a crypto merchant bank that is listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange. Great way of doing it, and a great use of the money. Going to be really interesting to follow that story. I love Mike Novogratz and everything he's doing in this space. He's also featured on the third item of this show, and I'll mention that in a minute. Now, Coindesk, I absolutely love this. They published their fourth quarter report from 2017 on everything blockchain and Bitcoin. Some really interesting statistics, charts and graphs and facts about the market. And the report is 170 pages long. You can download it as a PDF. It's basically a PowerPoint, but you can download it as a PDF. I've done so. It's over 22 megabytes in size, but I will include a link in the show notes where you can go and get yourself a copy. It's completely free of charge, but you've got to give Coindesk your details. But check out how digital assets performed against traditional assets last year. Absolutely staggering unbelievable to see the returns that people got from digital assets when compared to traditional assets. I quite like the different search terms based around blockchain that people started doing on Google, and look at how they ramped up at the end of the year. That's incredible. One that's a bit more worrying is the market share that Bitfinex has got, especially over Bitcoin, but it's also got quite a large market share of some of the other cryptos that are listed in this report. Now that's concerning not my rumor mongering, please. This is a story coming out from loads of different news sources. The US government sent some subpoenas in to Bitfinex back at the beginning of December. We've heard nothing about that. They want to know whether they've got the funds to back all of the tethers that they've been issuing, and a lot of people are worried that it might be a house of cards. And when you look at the market share that Bitfinex has got, that is quite worrying if anything ever happens to that exchange. And I love this chart. The ICO funding versus the traditional venture capital funding just in the last quarter of 2017. Look at that. Look how much funding ICOs got compared to the paltry 200 million that was done in venture capital funding in the last quarter. Absolutely staggering. So go and get yourself that report. Have a wade through. It's 170 pages long. I've flicked through most of it. It covers all sorts of interesting stuff around blockchain and distributed ledger technology as well, so you can see who the players are that are playing in it. Talks about IBM and Microsoft and some of the others. Really, really interesting report. Go and grab yourself a copy. As I say, I've included a link to it in the YouTube show notes. Now, Forbes have brought out a new kind of rich list, and as I said, I'm not on it. Not yet. Not yet. You've got to be worth at least 350 million US dollars. There's only 19 people on this list. People such as the Winklevoss twins, Vitalik Buterin, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, and a few other big names who you, if you're used to this space, will know. So go and check that out. I've included a link to that list in the YouTube show notes as well. And Forbes have acknowledged that they've left some people off, and in fact their estimates may be wide of the mark. It's very difficult to tell how much most people are worth. So, and crypto regulation, we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. The European Central Bank came out yesterday and said that it's not high on their to-do list. The ECB's chair of the supervisory board, Danielle Noy, said that she's got no clue what plans they've got from a regulatory perspective, but that their involvement at the moment is very, very low. Yes, she did go on to say if they needed to step in from a regulatory standpoint, they would. But as she said, so far, it's not exactly high on our to-do list. So that's good news for now, but of course we know that the G20 summit is coming next month in March in Argentina, where the big 20 countries of the world, the leaders all get together, and we know that the cryptocurrency regulation item is going to be high up on their agenda. So it's going to be a hot topic. So I don't think we're out of the woods. We're not going to be out of the woods from a regulation point of view. As I've said before, I don't think regulation is a bad thing, but other people I'm going to talk about in a minute do say it is a bad thing. And in fact, I also wanted to mention that Mike Novogratz is on that Forbes list that I just mentioned as well. And so he should be, because he's worth in excess of $500 million. He's a player, boys and girls. And the crypto experts who are predicting a bull run for Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market for the rest of 2018, starting right now. There are people saying that Bitcoin's going to be worth $50,000 by the end of this year, and the market cap for the whole market could be as high as $1 trillion. Go on, $1 trillion. So who knows whether that's true or not, but Ran Nuna, the host of CNBC's Crypto Trader Show, has put a pinned tweet on his Twitter account predicting his own prediction that Bitcoin will be worth $50,000 by the end of 2018. So he's put his money where his mouth is by posting that on Twitter. Now, others are saying, as I've said before, that regulation is a good thing because that will give other people that want to come into this marketplace the peace of mind and security that the market is being regulated professionally and properly. So that's going to bring more money in. Hence, people saying the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency markets are going to be on the rise for the rest of this year as regulation comes in. Now, on the flip side of that, good old Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, has come out yesterday with a Facebook Live video ranting and raging about Bitcoin and what a rubbish thing it is and how it has no value and how anyone that's in this space shouldn't be in this space. He says he wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, and he has been berating and not nice about this marketplace for a long time, and he chose to go onto Facebook yesterday and post about a 20-minute tirade on why everyone that owns cryptocurrencies should be selling it, because he says regulation is coming to shut the whole thing down. What's happened in China, he said, is going to happen across the rest of the world. They are regulating it so they can put people in prison. So that's his stance. Go and check out the video on Facebook. I've included a link in the YouTube show notes. Go and watch it. He makes some salient points. If regulation is coming, then they really can. People in this space are saying it's decentralized, the banks don't control it, the governments don't control it. Jordan Belfort thinks that the governments can control it, and if we think they can't, then we are lunatics, because he says the regulation means that they can do whatever they want. They can stop us, like the banks, by stopping us using credit cards. They could easily stop us using debit cards. They could stop us doing bank transfers into the cryptocurrency exchanges. In fact, most countries could ban cryptocurrency exchanges, and therefore even using VPNs and finding a bank that would be able to handle your money, because you've still got to move your fiat currency into cryptocurrency at the beginning. Now, of course, you could go to a hole in the wall. There's more and more ATMs setting up all over the world where you can put your card into an ATM and bring out cash, and in fact you then take your cash that no one knows what you're doing with and put that into a Bitcoin ATM, and your cash will be deposited, and in return you will get a paper wallet with some Bitcoin on it. But yes, you can do that. The charges are ridiculously high, so it's not the most cost-effective way of doing it. So Jordan Belfort thinks it's all going to die. It's going to go to zero. It's worthless, and we shouldn't have any money in it. And he's warning us now. His only reason for doing the video is to warn us so that we can get out now, whilst at least we've still got some money. So go and watch the video. And as ever, as if that wasn't entertaining enough, I've got a dog that can juggle story. There is a piece of art that's been made out of disused credit cards that form the head and shoulders of Jamie Dimon, and it's being called the Terrible Store of Value. That piece of art is currently up for auction. It's being created by a well-known crypto graffiti artist called Crypto Graffiti, and I've included a link to his Twitter account so you can go and find out more about him and his crypto graffiti artwork. This piece of artwork, the Terrible Store of Value, is going for auction as we speak. I looked this morning. It's currently had no bids. It's got a recommended price of $15,000, and yes, you can bid and pay for it in Bitcoin. So who knows whether there's going to be any bids. As I said, there's been no bids so far. There's just over 1 day to go before the auction ends. And again, I'll include a link through to the auction where you, if you want to, can bid, and you could be the lucky winning bidder to get yourself the Terrible Store of Value, a framed piece of artwork of disused credit cards that make up the face and head and shoulders of Jamie Dimon, a long, well-known detractor of Bitcoin. And as I say, go and check out Crypto Graffiti, because he's got all sorts of other crypto-based artwork that he or she, actually I don't know whether it's a he or she, very, very sorry, it might be a she, has produced. So that's it for this show. If you want to get in touch, by all means, please drop me an email, news@cryptomarketnewsdesk.com. Get involved in the conversations on the YouTube channels. I spread it across social media as well. Connect with me at Dickie Armour on Twitter. It'd be great to have a conversation with you about this stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for spending time with me. I've been your host, Dickie Armour from Bristol in the UK. I'll see you same time tomorrow.